Recording in progress. Do we have Sejal here? Who has the host access? Vinity, you're there?
Hello. Yeah, Vinity, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, I can hear you. Vinity this side.
Yeah, Vinity. Actually, Sejal is not joining, and so Sonali should come in to give us the host access.
Okay, sure.
We'll just wait for another 2 minutes and then let's get started.
Okay.
Hi Jayaprabha, good evening.
Hi, very good evening.
All set? Malini,
Yeah.
Vinity?
It's all set. Everything is
Wonderful.
thank you.
Waiting to hear you very eagerly.
Thanks a lot. So Malini, I'll be sharing the PPT.
Yeah, she's joined. Malini?
Yeah.
Yes, Neelamani, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. We need host access to share the PPT. So for that, we need Sonali to come in.
I think she's there.
Somebody is entered in. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
Hey, hi.
Yeah.
hi.
Good evening.
Very good evening, all.
Good evening, iron ladies.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Jay, you are moderating today, right?
So,
Yeah.
Sonali, can you give host access to Jayaprabha and Neelamani?
Yeah.
You can just keep the security on also. That's sufficient for sharing. Yeah.
Okay, Neelamani, I'll start.
You
Yeah.
can start the screen sharing.
Yeah.
All right. So, Neelamani, yeah, we can kick off, and
Yes.
then you can hand it over to Vinity, who's the moderator for today.
Yeah. Hi, welcome everybody, all super ladies. I especially welcome Jayaprabha on this platform. We all are set
Thank
so
you.
eagerly to hear from her because at some point of time in our service or in our corporate life or even in our entrepreneurship, being a board member, we face glass cliff scenario many times. So let's have a look and listen from Jayaprabha how to avoid this and how to move on. In the end, we will have our questions and that will be answered very well. So I hand it over to Malini with once again welcoming you all. Yeah, Malini, move ahead.
Thank you so much.
Vinity, you're there?
Yeah, yes.
She is our
So
moderator.
very good. Yeah. So very good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you in another interesting session of Yukti. We have been continuously having the discussion regarding glass cliff, and on that exciting topic, navigating the glass cliff and organizational saviors. On expert and live session, we have invited today R. Jayaprabha, who will be our guest speaker. And I would like to give some brief about Jayaprabha. She is founder of Gems and Pearls Director, Gems and Pearls. She is director of Helen O'Grady International Creative Academy, PCM, director Chrysalis iMath, PCMC. She is edupreneur currently for the last 10 years and HOD, associate professor, etc. in her working profession. Uh, we have been discussing regarding the navigating the glass cliff, and we had got excellent insight and questionnaire from the last few Yukti sessions. I would like to invite Jayaprabha again to expert enlighten us on this session today. Welcome, Jayaprabha. I hand over the session to you.
Thank you so much, Vinity. Thank you, Malini, and thank you, Neelamani. Thanks a lot. A very, very good evening, ladies. I would request if all of us can put on our videos, we all look gorgeous, ladies, and let's keep our videos on. Wow, that's so nice to see so many faces. Beautiful. Hey, everybody, a very, very good evening once again.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
evening.
So,
Very good to see you.
thank you. Thank you so much for switching on your videos and wishing. That's so nice. Actually, this is also one big stage which we have to cross every other day, right? Facing the video is a part of our life now. It's a part and parcel. Every other day, you have some or the other Zoom meetings. So why hesitate putting our videos on? Why not face it? Isn't it? Just think, I mean, like, it's a beautiful segment. I realized for the last 3-4 weeks, you all, yeah, that's okay. That's okay, Manisha. I understand our networks. Yeah, it's understood. For the last 3-4 weeks, I think you've been having a wonderful session on to navigating the class cliff. I don't know how much insight I can put onto it, but I will surely try to share my best of whatever I know and what we can exchange. So I would look at it being more interactive, and we can converse and we can have some questions on to pondering as to what and where and why and how we all can together work on certain things on building a wonderful navigation sector for ourselves. Because yes, there is this glass cliff which we talk of, or sometimes a glass ceiling and all in the corporate world. Many a times this is being heard, maybe in the corporate segment as well as let's look at one more segment of life, the political segment also. It happens. I mean, these are two very important prime sectors wherein you find the existence of this glass cliff. And I believe most of you are very familiar with the term glass cliff, right? Can somebody just shoot out what they understand by glass cliff? Come on, ladies.
Challenges.
Yeah, okay.
Challenges.
Challenges.
That what women face.
Okay, challenges what women face.
It's a term used when
Why?
you're not able to
Kind of,
do anything.
Sorry, Anju, I couldn't get you.
Yeah, it's a term used when you're not able to climb the ladder due to some reasons.
It is kind of stagnation where you are either blocked or you cannot grow further in an organization. It could be due to politics, or it could be due to restrictions of women role in the higher management.
But the chances of failure is very high.
Barrier to go up. Okay. In general, maybe, yes, we'll try to reframe the whole meaning of it. Politics played with women leaders so that she is blamed easily to save the business. Yeah, Neelmani has hit it in the right direction for us to navigate towards that. Yeah, thank you. So let's think of any business profile being caught on with our own limitations, okay? So let's think about it. Now, usually in the corporate world, or let's say in any sector, if you think of, let's say, engineering sector, if there are 100 engineers, how many would you think would be women and how many would be men?
70% men and
10% women force in
10%
core engineering industry.
Right. So maybe when it comes, it would be like to a proportion of 10:70, 90 as such.
Yes.
Or earlier, maybe it was much more smaller. But yes, with the growth and development and empowerment happening for the woman. Like I should say, our Iron Lady is one very important segment, which is empowering women. So this is one very supportive team, community, which is helping us build ourselves. So when we think of different sectors, whether it is the hoteling sector, service sector, now there are some profiles which are automatically categorized. Yeah, teacher banna hai, trainer banna hai, they say, okay, ladies, you can go into it. It's much safer and you can get into it. But when you think of something which has a lot of risks involved, it's always categorically put ki, okay, this profile is not for you and this is for the men. Or now this is not, when we think of the glass cliff, it's not just connecting with the women leaders, okay? It's also connected with any minority community. So when in the US and all, abroad and all, when we think of the black and the whites and all that also, so there again, there is that discrimination which happens onto positioning people from the minority segment onto higher positions, so giving them leadership positions. Okay, it's accepted that we give them the lower or the medium level leadership roles, but then when it goes on to higher, onto the top most levels, so then the number of people automatically get cut down when you see women into that. So women entrepreneurs or women CEOs, women CFOs, or it is all, the number becomes much smaller. So you might find hardly 20%, 15%, 35% of women in those positions. Now, why is this happening? So it's more often felt that because of maybe the societal manner in which we have already been taught or brought up. So it is put in that manner. But then there is this change that happens. Okay, that's where this glass cliff pops up. Okay, so when we think of the glass cliff and when we think of the glass ceiling, so basically glass ceiling is a metaphor wherein you're thinking of some invisible societal barriers that keeps women away from achieving their highest positions, whether it is in business, in politics, or in any organizational position. So that is where we talk about glass ceiling. Okay, but when we so it is more like an imaginary thing. We think, oh no, this is not for us, or people tag it. It's usually like one segment that we have to accept also is that sometimes research has also found that when, I mean, in the Harvard University, when the professors were researching, what they basically realized, even for the profession of PhDs, for the doctoral degrees, the the ladies from the professors who were actually handling the doctoral students, they were categorically putting that the woman cult cannot get into all these doctoral degrees much because they're not able to spend more time dedicating towards learning and all that, and hence they are not able to achieve, whereas the men. So in one segment, when we try to think somewhere down the line, maybe yes, women also are the very big reason to tag it ki women cannot be strong leaders. We don't try to support. At least it's wonderful that we are a part of a community wherein we support leaders to build up leaders, empower each other as leaders. So this is one very important societal behavior that is existent, which creates this glass ceiling. But when we think of the glass cliff, so it's basically a slight twist. Okay, there is a slight twist from the glass ceiling to the cliff. So what we were initially, all of you were trying to highlight was more onto the ceiling. But when we think of the glass cliff, it's basically wherein women are actually elevated to positions of power, which means they are being given leadership roles. They are being given leadership roles only because of the reason that the things that are happening within organizations are really at a poor state. Or we should try to put it in the frank manner, ki there is crisis that is existent. So the glass cliff is basically wherein women are given leadership roles in scenarios wherein it's completely uncertain and there is very, very high risks or a dangerous state existent wherein the chances of failure is very, very high, which means we place a lady in a leadership role who will take up the brunt of the failures and move out. You see the irony behind giving a leadership role? Now, this is the actually crux wherein we get stuck or we need to hit it such that we capture and turn things around. That is where when we get into a leadership position, if it is because of a glass cliff, we need to actually turn around things by thinking in a very different manner. So yes, yeah. So we have to not make this glass cliff as a dead end to our professions. Instead, we have to use our turnaround strategies here. Okay, so that's the complete change maker. So I will just, so do we all realize what's the glass cliff? Yes, okay, great. Okay, you're resonating to that situation. Uma, we will surely try to discuss and maybe let's, I will just hope that maybe what I'm going to talk today will help us create some sort of a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Okay, so let me start sharing my small presentation of 4 to 5 slides when we'll try to go through it. So we will see how we can navigate the glass cliff and what is this organizational saviors. Again, that's the biggest twist that we will get to the end. Okay, so let's see what we need to do. Now, why do you think that it's always the women? I mean, like women are given these positions. Have you any time tried to think about it? Why are women given these positions? Uma said maybe she is into a glass cliff. I'm sorry, somebody was speaking. I just cut them through. Who was
just to fill the gender gap at the top level and making sure that the women fails and they have justification for that. That's why we are not having women at the leadership level.
Okay, maybe that is one small segment of the mentality also. Yes, for sure. Yeah, Rekha, that also does happen.
I would like hello.
Yeah. Yes, Shailaja.
Yeah, this is mainly because when they know, yes, this is going to be failed, so they don't want to take the responsibility on themselves. So they will put on somebody else's name that she could not manage properly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jai Prabha, I would like to add.
Yes, Uma.
Yeah, as I was said, I was resonating with this. Soon after my maternity leaves, I was really finding it hard to manage between a family and a work. Like I could not spare much time, a quality time over there. Previously, I was working as a full-time software developer to a cloud, like a on-demand, which is a potential software. And the open source is a thing which doesn't have much traction. As you said, it's not that potential project. I was forcefully pulled to that, where there was no mentors or no much efforts was given to that and no more resources were working over there. They gave the explanation saying, as you are a senior person with 7+ years of experience, you can take it forward. You can take your own decisions and lead to progress. But whatever I do, it's like my sole responsibility. And every time I'm hitting a roadblocker. If I look for guidance also, they flag it as you're more dependent. You're not taking your solo decisions. So such kinds is like, it's something planned for me to fail.
Now that's where how you take it up.
Yeah.
Okay, see one which what you say, where we can realize ki maybe the type of venture dedication within your segment is not much from the company. Right, they've sideline put you into a stream wherein maybe not much scope is there, and maybe whatever trial and error you do it, they have shouted down onto you. But
Yes, exactly.
it's all in your hand as to how you can turn it around. So we will
Yes.
surely talk about it towards the end as to what you need to do. So maybe I don't know whether you have already taken those steps or not, or maybe you can start thinking about it and try to bring it
Jai
into
Prabha,
your
I have some research points, like I want to make some research on the competitors thing, like what they are doing. How can I come up with these challenges? What best I can give to this software over there? I want to like make more research and come up with a good roadmap, which I can convince for them. That's where.
wonderful. Yes, that's the most important thing that is required. Research it out onto the whole segment. And yes, what else can we add to it? We will surely look at it. Okay.
Thank you, Jai Prabha.
So you're welcome. When we are thinking of women manpower coming into, am I sharing the screen? I'm sorry.
No, we can't.
No. Okay. I will just share it again. I'm sorry for the. Yeah. Just give me a second. Yes. So when we think of women, basically it is like women reaching the upper ranks. I would request kindly mute yourself over. Yeah. So when women reach the upper ranks of power, they are basically, like we already said, they're put into a precarious position, which means complete uncertainty of whether you can succeed in it. So the chances of greater risk for them is very high. So before I get into why women are put into it, like one point was cited by our friend, but then let's read through this case. I'm not putting across the whole case, but I will just put across a small scenario. Now, Jack Penny is basically a mid-scale American-based store, a retail store, a departmental store chain, which has more than 689 locations. Okay, you can think how huge the departmental stores chain is, right? Yeah. Now, this company was going through a very rough time, and it was realized that basically he had posted losses quarter after quarter. So every quarter, this whole balance sheet, what they were posting, it was showing that it was clearly in losses. And they were having dozens of stores, and they were really struggling to foothold onto and build their customer base. Now, this is the time wherein what they did was they employed Jill Soltau, who was basically the former president and CEO of John. She was basically into a fabric and craft store chain. Now, what was the intent behind this? You know, when she got this job opportunity, because she was from that interest, she felt that I could do it. And she was getting that opportunity to be into a small group of women who were serving Fortune 500 companies. So that was a great name tag that she was going to get. So the opportunity was big and different. But then she was coming into a portfolio which was really challenging with no guarantee of success. She was going to struggle into a company wherein the help, was absolutely zero. The company was nearly into doldrums, and that was basically into a situation of a glass cliff. Now, what did she do here, or what happened was a different story altogether. Now, first thing, this is a usual thing wherein a woman is given a leadership position. And that's what the basic glass cliff is all about. Ki woman being positioned as a leader whenever there is crisis or whenever there is high chances of failure. So now, but the best part was she was able to turn around things. So that was a great survival factor, that she turned around the whole thing. And Anne, when we think of what Jane did over there, or when we think of Anne Mullachi, there was one more company. We all know about Xerox, right? Yeah. Yes. No. What do we say?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We need. Okay. I'll just mute. Yeah. Xerox was also a very big, huge company, which was into disaster because they were also in a very bad scenario. And here again, a lady was positioned as the leader. Anne Mullachi was positioned as the leader to handle the whole thing. But the beauty of these two case studies are they were both of them turnaround strategists who were able to build it up. But on an average, what is seen is the ratio of the number of people who lose out is quite high in comparison to the success stories, which are more countable. So what is it that we need to create as a change factor within us such that we can navigate this glass cliff is what we as an individual need to think about. And this is where we all will go ahead. Yeah. So when we are talking about this whole thing, the whole idea was whenever firms are doing poorly, you employ a woman or somebody from the minority category. And the reason being, most often it was found that the male candidates would refuse stepping into these positions because they know that we are into crisis, our chances of failures are high, and in case we fail, it is going to affect our complete career. Because once a CEO or a very high level leader fails, it becomes next to impossible for them to move in to leadership roles. It affects their professional career. So the easiest thing that usually men do, the male candidates do, is they step out from these segments and they don't get into it. And there is also one stereotypical thought process wherein it's a perception that's existent ki such qualities, whenever there is crisis, women possess the qualities to maneuver things and they can stride through the tough times. Now, this is put up in a very diplomatic format, very democratically saying that we support the women to come in and we are cooperating and we are we are always there to facilitate opportunities, and they try to give in these opportunities to the woman power as such or the minority cult. Uma, don't be worried too much. I need to see that smile on your face because we're going to create the change. Okay, dear? Yeah. So our concept has to be more onto what and why. Now, what did this Anne Mullachi do? You know, she served as the CEO for nearly 9 years, I should say 8 years, from 2001 to 2009. And she was a part of that team and she took this opportunity also. And what we see is women are always ready to take up risks. You know, all of us need to applaud for ourselves. One, because whatever be, whether it is a problem in the house or a problem in the society or a problem in your organization, you find that women already always stand for it and try to take up the risk and work towards succeeding. trying to rebuild it or try to do something which is different. Okay, this is basically because women feel a great sense of purpose in their living. And they have that great level of commitment to all their communities that they're connected with, wherein with whomever they are involved, in a manner that they think that this is my problem. This is my problem. And are you able to see the screen, or can you see each one? You're able to see the screen. Okay. I will just stop the share for a few seconds. So women are always into that feel key. I should stand by my community. I should support my community. Work for them. How many of you resonate with this thought process? Do you do it or you don't? All those who do, please put a thumbs up or put your hands up. Yeah. Yeah, I can find only 1, 2, 3. How many of you? Yes, yes, I do. I need to see that more. Yes. Come on, a few more, few more, few more. I think many more of us do. Yes, yes, I can see so many. Srimati, Beena, Shravani, Oma, yes, Sujata, Sarmishta. Great, Parul. Wow, Debanji, many of you. Wow, that's really glad to know that yes, all of us are committed to whatever our community is around us. And we seriously, yes, I can see the messages. Yes, many of us do it. And that's what the metal within every woman is, ki we are ready to face the crisis and work towards. We don't think about the risk or the losses connected with it. We just think about ki this is a situation, I have to face it. Okay, my company needs my help. Let me get into that leadership position, and we readily accept it. This is because of maybe the manner in which we are created, and the easy manner of our other gender who can easily pass it on. You know, we always see, yeah, you can pass on the buck when it is difficult, and I will catch the cake when it is easy. And if you also realize, whenever the male members get into these positions of crisis, they negotiate very hard. Whereas we find as women, we take up leadership position thinking, oh my God, my company is into crisis and I should be there to stand by it. Forget the money. It's okay. You've given me the name, the power. Yes. And I will take it up. I'll take up the challenge and I'm going to work for it. It's fine that you're not able to give me that huge pay packets. It's okay. But I'm there with you. Yes, emotionally, we are tied up. Whereas maybe the men are more emotionally intelligent here. Okay, so yes, we behave more humanly, we behave more emotionally, and we get bond in this thing as such. So this is where we have to think of what we need to do and how we need to do. Now, what the study, I mean, Alison Cook, he's a great researcher. I mean, they have written that, they have stated it clearly, women always get into these positions because they are ready to go ahead for it. They are ready to dedicate themselves for it. And it was also written that women are much more willing to take up on a low success probability situation, because they feel that maybe we are the uniquely equipped members who can make a difference. And this is what we are made up of. Then here, you know, what basically happened was when there was a review that was carried out by Harvard Business School, and they found, what they did is they did a research about this business research onto a company wherein the company was already into a crisis scenario and it was really into a dying position. And they tried to check out how many women would be ready to get in and how many men would be ready to get into a crisis scenario. What they found was 62% of the men chose to work with the company when it was doing very well, when it was into a flourishing business. But 69% of the members stated that if there is a problem, if there is a crisis, it is the woman who should be taking up the position, because a woman knows how to handle crisis and she would be a good leader in a crisis scenario. So you can realize that the already made up societal behavior is stated in such a scenario ki if there is a problem, let's put a woman over there because she is good at handling crisis. But then, yes, like we realize, there are some things behind which affects or which can support. So we need to think of what do we want to do to make it support us. Okay. And that's where like Anne Mulucci or like I was talking about Jane, I mean, what they basically did was they went in as strong leaders. You know, they were very aggressive. They were very aggressive, but then before entering in, they carried out a proper survey. Yeah, in fact, Anne, she spent nearly 90 days of her starting time onto only just studying, onto only just researching and connecting with every individual within the company. And why did she do it? Her intent was to listen to every person's reason of why the company is in a very bad format, of understanding what people are highlighting as reasons because of which the company is into doldrums, or why is our company doing bad. There were people who were ready to talk about it, and she was not just talking to them, she was listening to them, which means, yeah, we don't get time to explore. It depends upon different ways. It was not that she was just dedicating the time onto just researching. She was on the whole doing certain other things as well. So we have to realize as a leader, we cannot get into one frame of work. We have to be multitasking. We have to segment our frame of work into different zones. So one zone is categorically doing research. But there is one wherein implementation is also happening. One wherein connecting and bonding is also happening. You know what she did? She started not just spoke to everybody. She started picking things, and she also put on to them a scenario. If you are not going to work according to my set standards, please, we can give a handshake. So, which means you do or you leave. That was also one rule that she followed. So, which means she had put them into that fix. And yes, she was very aggressive, but maybe she was also very assertive, wherein she had to handle it properly. And she basically tried to go against that gender stereotypical qualities, because they felt, yeah, you possessed, you can do it and all that. But then she re-engineered things. They re-engineered things, and at the edge wherein they were nearly to bankruptcy, they re-engineered it and brought it to a complete success scenario. So doing it is surely not an easy segment, right? So what all she did, so she went into a segment wherein she gave no choice to people to make, and she told them, I need your complete support from the executive team, and you have to tell people listening to them was one segment, as well as telling them that I understand our company is going through these problems, but help you out. So she went with saying that we will succeed. We will surely go ahead and surpass this problem scenario as such, this difficult times. And she uniquely aligned around a common set of objectives, which actually changed. And the best part was resilience and optimism of the employees. It actually fueled her to resolve and work according to her vision that she had set. And also to say, do you realize how important is the resilience of the team? Because if team is not ready to get back to things, now maybe I brought in this idea, we tried it out, but it's not succeeding. Immediately we have to change. Now, that is also not very easy. But when we have a team which can support into it, success chances are very high. But how do we build it? If you have seen, the male leaders usually have that charm to just go and, hey, hi, hello, wow, good time, man, come on, let's sit on and have a cup of coffee. So they can chill out, they can freak out. That's a part of them wherein they just jolly well go along with others. And whereas being a lady, we find, okay, maybe if I be too close or too friendly, they will take it. I had interviewed 227 widows of farmer suicides, and they are leading their lives very confidently, and they didn't even think of suicide. They're successfully repaying the debts. Yes, women withstand. I mean, they shoulder up responsibilities. That is the beauty of maybe whatever the God has created, that we are ready to handle things, or we can handle pressure, handle stress much better than the other gender. But it is always seen that the men are able to go ahead and become very friendly and build a rapport very easily. Now that is where we have to actually try to create that change in us. Yes, I know where to draw the lines, and I can be jolly friendly with you as well. This can create a wonderful rapport, build a strong system of support. When you get into such crisis scenario and you have been put in as the leader, you should know that you have to connect with the whole team in a very short duration. I cannot take one day to meet one person. I might have to build my rapport of meeting, connecting 100 people in a day. So then how would I do it? Actually, for us, I should say the pandemic has taught us how can we make it easy also. Am I right? Can it be easy? We have such a beautiful system of the online medium, which has made it easy. But then connecting with them is very different from just knowing them. If I just say hi, hello, yeah, hi, Nishita, I know you, hi, Shivmani, I know you, hi, Kakoli, I know you, or hi, Nishita, I know you, hi, Debjani, I know you. Is that a great thing? No. When you listen to them, you should know to even appreciate them with a proper, genuine remark. Let it not be a remark which is just thrown in the air. Ki, wow, you have a beautiful smile. Wow, you look so nice. Wow. Now, such sort of remarks can actually intimidate somebody as well, right? So we cannot get into that. It has to be professional. It has to be genuine. It has to be unique, which you have said it. So we need to really think about it. If I'm going to say, wow, Parul, the type of work that you've put, and I'm really enjoying the type of background, that's making me feel so peaceful. And this is a great effort that you've taken, Parul. Thank you very much. Now, That's the connect. It might not take a minute of our time, but the genuine appreciation, genuine connect makes a great difference in your professional growth prospect or gaining the most essential thing of support from your team becomes very, very easy. So add that into your touch as a leader. Yeah. Now, when we are trying to think about what they did, so her best thing was she got a beautiful team who were resilient and as well as very optimistic onto seeing the type of vision that she had because of the manner in which she communicated. And what she spoke was basically that it was my profession, my profile should not have been as a CEO, instead should have been a chief communicating officer. You understand the essence? Being a chief communicating officer. So she realized what difference her manner of communication could have made to the whole change as such. And what she also cited was that what Mulachi in this 90 days of survey and all those things, what she also realized was that what motivated her when she succeeded, she realized that what motivated her was the fear of failure, which pushed her to succeed, And if we have read one of the posts that came up today, I suppose on the group by Kiran Padi, I suppose, should put it today, or I mean onto the LinkedIn profile or something. If you saw, when you have that fear of failure, the pace at which you walk, or maybe the type of effort or the dedication, the commitment that you throw into it is much stronger, which automatically ensures success. I mean, she had put it in a different manner, but I'm just trying to tell you, Kisi, this is how it happens, right? So I don't know. I mean, do I need to also go in for the polling is happening, right? All of you kindly put in your polls. I think many of us are still pending. Yeah. So we can do it. Now, so this is where we have to realize that yes, we know that there is something behind us, and that is the fear of failure. And that makes us run the rat race faster because we have to succeed. So if I want to succeed, then I have to do something more stronger. And you know, one very, very sad part that we are talking about today as organizational saviors exists over here. Because these organization saviors are usually the people who come in on a scale and say that women, they usually not given those opportunity because they say, okay, you are woman. You need to be see, I understand you can do the mid-management level very well. Yeah. You will be surely getting opportunities. I want you to work very hard onto your profile. We want you to bring in that strong contendership within you and blah, 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 and all those things. So we get into all those mediocre roles and all those things as such. But when crisis hits, women are given the opportunity. I find you can do it. You can stand as our savior. You have that skill set in you. And I realize we have never given you this opportunity. But Vinita, I'm telling you, today I'm going to give you this opportunity. And I believe, I trust in you, and you can do it because you know in and out of the company. And I've seen your profile. You're really good at it. And this is a chance given to you. Succeed in it and see how we can bring our company to glorious position, and you will be the person who's done all this. So this is the beautiful blah, 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 blah words, which actually puts us into that fix and we get into it. And finally, when the situation comes, the minority leaders are unable to generate this winning records, then what is going to happen? They say, my dear, you have brought greater losses and you've not been able to keep it up. So I'm sorry, you'll have to leave. And we are bringing Mr. So-and-so into this position for 10 times the pay packet, just 10 times the pay packet of what you were getting. And he is going to turn it around. What has all happened is now these people are called as the saviors, because when we think of saviors, a person who is going to save you, who is going to help you move out from this situation. You know what has happened in all these time? First, the company was in a bad scenario. Somebody was replaced over there, which is the glass cliff that we are talking of. And this person, if was not able to hit that hard, sometimes not Mr., many times, I'm sorry, couldn't read you. Yeah, many times another lady with a lower profile. Yes, that might also happen. Yeah, that can also happen, like very rightly put up. But then if that lady is also not able to do it, then again they will say, oh, no, ladies cannot do it. And then that's the easiest tag. Like initially one of our friends had hinted at the start, ki we tag and we get sidelined, ki you cannot do it, and it can be only a male counterpart who can actually change the whole scenario. But is it really true? Is it that only the men can change the whole thing? I don't think it's true. Because if we all realize as strong contenders, if we see now today we are 100 of us over here, 103 ladies here or 110 of us here, we can see that we all have got into leadership positions. And if we, each one of us, try to support each other, we can surely create the change. Because if it is just maybe 500 ladies who are the strongest at the highest positions, it can slowly become 1,000. You add this 100 more to it, it becomes 600, or 300 building more becomes 1,000 or 10,000. So the community will grow and that mindset will change. The ideology will stand. Ki women have the strength, the inner strength to withstand crisis will be there, and they can be turnaround strategists will also build up. Now for that, we need to do a slight homework. And that is where we have to ensure that we work on it and we navigate this glass cliff and make it our success story. So what all do we need to do? Let's not get into that rat race. I mean, just get tagged and give a chance to somebody to come and change, because already it has gone weak. Then that new person has come. He slightly tried to bring it up. Oh, wow, you have done it. No, maybe that wow should have come to the previous person who has actually tried to move it from worse to a bad, which needs to be understood. So we need to make people understand that. It cannot be done by just keeping quiet and slogging ourselves and just trying to build it up. We have to make noise. So how do we make noise? Now this is where we will go through. Let us all advance as a turnaround leader with a little bit of preparation and research, such that female professionals can succeed in all these precarious roles and make it possible to tackle the delicate paradox of the glass cliff. Let us really try to change that small segment. So for which we would say, know your numbers, include risk in your negotiation, define success before you accept, Use your unique position to your advantage. Believe in yourself, build a network, don't be afraid. So now, if I talk about know your numbers, what would you mean? I have added one line with it. Knowledge is power. Tell me, what would we do? What should we do?
Quantify.
It's open for all of us. Quantify. Yes, Rashmi, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
I would, to me, it gives me a feeling to quantify what I have worked, to present with exact statistics or at least a range where I could, quantify my work and present it in a proactive manner.
Okay, not just us. Ojasvi has put it in the perfect manner, knowing the company inside out, understanding the complete intricacies of the scenario, understanding in and out about the company, and acquiring every knowledge connected with it, and building up yourself to that stance. So you have to stay up to date on about the company, about the technology, about the industry that you're working with, and be very calculate the risk. So like Rashmi said, quantify. First, study in and out about your company, the industry that you're working with, the type of ability that is needed, upgrade yourself also with that skill set, and calculate the risk. Now, why do we need to calculate the risk? Do we need to calculate our risk? Yes, how to connect with companies with our, yeah. So do we need to calculate the risk?
Yes, we need to calculate the risk, because if we don't calculate the risk, the failure of a CEO is very high. If in a high position, if someone loses, then they will not get the second chance.
Yes, that's the biggest trauma. If we lose, we won't get a second chance. And
how do we calculate the risk?
You have to study in and out about the company. You have to also measure your qualifications of how you can handle it. If you feel it is not very easy, put your hands up. I'm sorry, I cannot take it up, because this type of profile with this particular work set, I have to be paid 10 times this money. If a male person, if a member is coming from the other gender, he will quote that. He will ask a minimum of 4 times the risk. And whereas usually it is seen that women leaders are agreeable to even less than their salaries. So that's why calculate the risk by understanding to what proportionate it is going to affect your profession. 10 years down the line, I have to get a good profile of job. My CV, my biodata, my whole history, geography of me as a person will carry this as a very big negative remark. I cannot. So you have to calculate not just what I'm earning today, what I'm going to earn 10 years after this also, because this will remain. And also the type of time that you need to dedicate for it, because it's not going to be a very short time. We have to realize in such a scenario, the type of commitment that we give in, because we are all ladies, we have our family, we have our lot of tasks that we have to do as a person, as the mother, as a daughter-in-law, as the mother-in-law, whatever profiles we have to do all that also. And there we cannot say I can't do it. So then you have to calculate all this as your risk factor, and this needs to be paid in a quantifiable manner, which should be of very superior quality. Only then the value of you as a person spending for it will be there. Otherwise,
example,
if
like
let us
in a scenario, what is the risk, and then how much of, let's say,
what is the risk and how much then you negotiate, or a situation?
Neha, it would vary from industry to industry.
Agree. Just an example.
Now, let us say today you are getting a pay packet of 1.5 lakh, okay? And your company is in maybe, let's say, I'm just trying to put a scenario. Some XYZ is already getting 1.5 lakh pay packet and is in a profile of maybe the lead team, maybe the complete head of the complete project team as such. But now all of a sudden they're being given a profile wherein they have to handle 7 more teams as such, wherein they know that the company is in a crisis scenario. Its background, let's say the type of money investment that's coming in is zero. Now, like, let's say your customers are completely unhappy with the type of work that is being done, and they're trying to pull back. And they're trying to see for clients who are able to give it a reasonable price, but you have to build up the whole team and you have to do it when you don't have the resources, when you don't have the back support, when you don't have a very good, strong team, okay, whom you know in and out, which means now if you are at this position, you're at a position wherein there are many other counterparts who are there working at the same profile. But you are being upscaled onto a position wherein you are going 4 times ahead of it. So even reasonably at that point of time, quoting a salary of 10 lakhs might be in the monetary terms. One. Second might be asking for a team who can work for you. Yes.
Yeah, should we negotiate for ourselves?
Yes.
For the team, because we will not give all the things. We might ask, we might negotiate.
We should negotiate. We should negotiate not just for the monetary pay packet as such, not just that, but also negotiate for the type of things that you require, resources that you require. And you should create it before you start. So you should check whether we get it or not, because otherwise your hard and efforts cannot go into it. That's why first research it is very important. Then secondly, knowing your worth. When we think of knowing your worth, you are calculating the risk. I know if I'm going to be replaced by some other person, he is going to take 4 times my salary. Then why should I not? What if we are not getting the resources? You should clearly cite it also. Working with this is really wonderful, but then the absence of these resources is cutting down my team from attaining the success rate. So you need to talk about it also. And yes, you should link your yes, you should ask for the support resources and all. So when what is also seen is that women CEOs are nearly 45% more likely to be boosted out of the company when they don't succeed. It's the easiest thing that they can do. So you will have to have the board set as to what is it that you are going to apprise me on. Have clarity, have the performance standards set very clearly, and then decide on whether it is achievable or not achievable. Is that going in connect with what you're asking? Yes. So it is not, yeah. Yes, Har.
Sometimes it is said that before coming to that role, he or she is demanding so much. So we are bringing you just because we have limited resources
so
and
see,
we want you to. Yeah.
And why do we accept it? Why do we bend to it? Because we feel, oh my God, this is a chance that I'm getting to get into that leadership role. And I'm not getting an opportunity elsewhere. If I have, like Rajesh usually says, have one more job on your hand, You know, I can go there. If you don't give me, I can surely go there. Forget it. Your company is already in losses, and I'm getting a wonderful opportunity here, but I am connected with this company and I have a very good bond, and it's been quite a few years that I'm there with this company, and I cannot leave because I'm bonded to it. But for this type of risk that I need to take, I have to be given with these resources. You might, it's not a demand, it is a support, because for the company. So you will, or is the network getting stuck somewhere? Any hitches, ladies?
It's okay now.
It's okay. Okay, fine, great. So see, because the chances of losing jobs for women is much easier to throw them out, putting it as a negative feedback onto it, we have to calculate that risk also. And if we ask also, we have to be very clear. You want me to achieve this, for which I have to commit this type of things. I have to spend this time, I have to do these things, and I want to achieve for that. So this also requires a small support system. This is very, very small. It is all in your talk, how you put it. If you try to create without this I'm helpless, then you're doomed. So you need to frame it in such a manner ki I will succeed. The first thing is, put it into your mind ki when you get into it, you have to go with that success first. Ki I will succeed. And for that, I have researched my background. I have also understood what are the risks connected with it. And then I'm asking for what I require. So then it will become more achievable. So please ensure that you discuss the performance standards. You set clarity. Your research is done. You know what you are worth of. You are also understanding the risk. Okay, I'll just put off my video. Yeah.
It is better now,
Yeah.
Prabha.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And sorry to interrupt. I think we have overshot it already.
Yes. So we will just go with the last few points. Yeah. So once we have understood that it's important for us to get in, we'll also have to realize that we have to outrank men, because nearly 11 people out of, because their emotional intelligence, you know that they will not get into it because there is a risk attached, whereas you have got into it. And you also need to realize that women are better problem solvers and are also likely to be seen as very inspiring leaders. But then it is tagged that men are very inspiring. It's not that. Women will become very inspiring if they only channelize their work and their segment of style of work. Okay, so your communication plays a great role in all this. And similarly, make decisions very confidently and very fast. So please remember that you define your success before you accept. Okay, that's where you know that you are really you're the perfect person to achieve it. And if you need, I can help you out. I will help you sail out of this problem. So you need to give me these facilities also, which are very, very feeble and nominal. Okay. And also realize you are in a unique position of advantage because they are seeking your help. So don't lose out over there. Don't
define success before you accept.
Sorry? Yeah, define success before you accept. So you will have to state, ki, this is what I can do for your company and I will do it because I am skilled for this. So you first in your mind, in your heart, you should have that I'm capable for it. And you should be able to also bring it out to the audience. I mean, to the team, to the members who are wanting you to work over there. Don't just get into the leadership role. They want you to support them, and you feel you can support them. Am I there with all of you? I want all of you to just put a yes or no. I mean, with your voices. Yeah. Yeah. See, one, they need you. Yes. Because the company is in a bad scenario. Second, you know you're capable of achieving it, but there are risks connected with it. You have made the study. Now what you need to say is, I can help you sail out of it. I'll do it for you and I can be successful on it. So go with that attitude and then say, I need these small things. I need a team of just 2 people to do this particular survey, 3 people to do this thing, and that's it. Because this is going to be my core team. Don't make it lavish ki they will say, "Nahi Baba, please tata bye-bye." No, I mean, let it be a sensible, genuine, find that you have created as ki, what is my requirement? What are my, okay? That's the background with which you're going. And similarly, be confident in the decisions that you make because you have studied it. Don't be dicey about your decisions. Be firm. When you do it from here to there, when you're confused, you lose out. So decisiveness is very, very important. And that makes you 12 times more confident on more sure of achieving success. So if I've thought of this route, then I'm going for it. And then I'm not, and you can be 100% sure that you will be the high performance executive whom they have nominated and you have succeeded in achieving. But when we come to the one important thing is build that trust amongst your colleagues. That's why I said communication plays a great role. So you will have to connect with multiple departments, multiple, let's say, teams in such a manner that you have a very good bonding and you will be able to mule out through the whole thing. So you should have that clarity of that sight as to how you're going to bind all these things together. So understanding the different departments which are there and building a wonderful rapport with them in a very short duration is very, very essential. And if the risk is so huge, if it is so tremendous, the risk is stated that it's really great, then please be sure that women CEOs will not, I mean, can be ousted easily also. So they don't, and if that happens, they don't get picked back. So we have to be very firm on how we go ahead with it. We have to be very, very firm. So don't be afraid. Be strong if you've taken it. So Uma, if we have taken it, please study in depth about the company. What is already existent, what has been, make a background study at the earliest about the previous people who were handling it also. And also try to think of the competitors which are there in the same portfolio, which are running the same set of organization. Also, study what is it your client requires. So your communication is not just with your team. Your communication also has their requirement. Study it well. Study your customer's requirement, the client's requirement, because that will ensure that whatever work you are doing, it will get certified by all these people, because that would become your 360-degree appraisal as such. Does it work?
Yes.
Yes.
So let us ensure that when we get a leadership role by a matter of chance, when there is failure, let's not jump onto it just because I've got the opportunity. Measure the risk, evaluate the risk, and also build up your ability to withstand that requirement, to withstand by building up your caliber and build up a wonderful rapport with the team along with you, above you, below you, outside, everywhere. And that will ensure your success rate is always existent. You have 100% success rate. And trust me, any woman who plans to navigate this glass cliff, she will be the savior for the organization. She will not be replaced by any male counterpart coming in as ki, I am the organizational savior, because that woman has already saved it. Okay. Does it go? Sounds fine with all of us?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Jayprabha.
Absolutely correct.
Thank you. I hope I was able to answer some queries which were already coming into your mind through just those 7 stages that we need to put for ourselves.
Yes, Jayprabha, it was
Yes,
so well,
ma'am.
very
Thanks to
well.
Neelmani for it. Thank you.
Thank you
I would
so
say
much,
it
Jaya.
was so
Really makes
engaging.
sense.
The whole session was engaging. People were attentive. Nobody tried to even leave the meeting, even though it went beyond
I
the
know it.
time. But then tons of thanks to you for informative, such an informative and wonderful session. Thank you once again.
Thanks a lot, Neelmani.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for this
Jayprabha.
opportunity.
Today, actually, you can hear me, right?
Yes, Uma, I can hear you.
Yeah, today it was a bad day for me. I was a little depressed also. Today my review happened and I was totally depressed with all those outcomes that had happened. And the words and all the points what you have made is like really boosting me up and showing me a good lead towards. Thanks for that. Thank you.
Most welcome, and all the best wishes, Uma, to you. And I'm 100% sure you're going to succeed in the profile that you've got.
And the best part was today it was all ladies.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't have our strongest contender behind us.
Too good. Chalo,
Yes.
loved it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Archana. You're most welcome. And thanks a lot, friends. I hope you enjoyed, and it was a great
Yeah.
meeting with all of
It
you.
was wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're all welcome.
Thank you so much.
So, in this pandemic scenario, let's not just stay safe by staying home, but let us put in the 7 stages into our practice, and let's ensure that whatever we do, wherever we do, let's do our groundwork first of research, which has to be very fast, and as well as build up our caliber simultaneously, and very importantly, communicate. Communicate with everyone around and make it your strongest hold to achieve success. So all the best to everybody. Can you explain the 4th point? Okay, use your unique position to your advantage. What we need to realize is basically that you have to realize that, see, first you have been called up to take up that lead position. Okay, so please use it to your advantage. You are not going to think, oh my God, I got the opportunity, the best opportunity, I have to hold it. No, you got that opportunity because you're capable, you're fit for it. So use it to your advantage and be very clear, be very firm that, see, if things go wrong, you might just oost me out. So I want a clarity onto not just the performance standards, but I also want to be very clear that I might become the scapegoat. So that is a very high risk for me. So I want these things along with me to ensure I will be able to do it for you. Okay, so when you are into that negotiating segment, you have to be very, very clear that we are at risk, but you have come to me and I will do it for you. So please, these are my requirements. Put it on a lighter note, but be very firm on it. Be very clear with it, because practically it is our risk that we are taking. So we have to achieve it also. It is surely challenging, so but it's not accepted by see many a times whatever challenges we are taking is not acceptable to the not just the team, to even our family, everybody as such. But then we get into it because to satisfy ourselves, but then there is a risk attached on all the ends, professional end and the personal end. So let's measure it and quantify it and then qualitatively achieve it also. Okay. So I wish all of you the best for your future. And let's hope that we all stand in as the women leaders, strong contending women leaders who are building the success rate of companies, and we create the remarkable turnaround strategies.
Jayaprabha, can you just take one small question from my side? I'm Suma.
Yes, Suma. Yes, Suma.
I just, it was wonderful that the way you have told all the things. I am really happy how you told us to negotiate all these things.
Thank you.
In my position, I was heading the department for 4 years. I see that one female, particularly in my department, always she is with the men, like working always against me. In front of me, she is very good. She shows that she is very obedient. She is very sincere. She is well wisher of me. But behind me, she is with those men who, and she is a informer to these people. She will say कि ऐसे करोगे तो मैडम ऐसे करे. मतलब she is the one person who is working really against me. I know that this is the lady, but I am not able to negotiate that. Somewhere that soft corner comes for females. So how do I go about it? Since 4 years I am experiencing this.
Don't make her your weakness. You will have to have a nice, beautiful chat with her, wherein she realizes that you know about it.
Okay.
Make it prominent and explicit that I do realize what you do behind my back, my dear sweetie.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start doing that.
You have to confront her. Yes. Okay.
I have one question. Can we get a recording of this?
Sure, you all will be getting it.
In the Telegram?
Yes,
in the Telegram
group, yes, you will get.
Thank you.
Jayaprabha, I have a question. If you
I
think this is
a very quick question.
Yeah, let's keep it as let's keep it as the last question. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for all the points that you gave me and you gave all of us. It was indeed good information to handle the current.
My pleasure.
Question I have is that every year during the KRA session, during the annual appraisal, we have a set of jobs to be done, and we show our achievements, and everything is being done on the basis of what is being set for us. But the bosses, after doing that, every year they come back saying that no, we wanted something else. But that doesn't come into the current work that was assigned to me. But they always connect it with the jobs that they are going to give me, and they they cut off the scope. So how do I
Mary, we are losing your voice, but at the outset, what I feel is first have a clarity onto the required standards, what the company is wanting from you. So have a talk with your team, your heads as such, whoever is going to appraise you, the appraisers as such, have a clarity onto what is the basis on which you're going to be assessed. The HR can surely give you that guideline onto it as well, but your team who is going to rate you, whether it is from your superiors or your subordinates or your team members, whoever is doing it, what is their expectation? Have a clarity onto their expectation of your job profile. and please set the standards clearly. If I'm doing this, so I'm expected your what all are your job basic requirements is already there. So have more clarity onto it and work towards it. What is it that is going to actually calculate for your performance? It has to be evaluated by you, dear.
Okay.
So please ensure that you have a good study of your job profile, your description, and also what is the gauging line for the assessment as such, appraisals and such. Okay, that will give you more clarity, and have a clear talk with your heads also, your superiors also, such that you have more information onto how I need to work.
Actually, they know that I can, tag them with my job that I do. I do not jobs that
Mary, basically we are losing your voice, but if you if they know what you are doing, please create visibility of what you're doing, such that that gets valued. Okay, just don't do the work.
Okay.
It's not the donkey's work that we're doing. Our work is very valuable, so please create your visibility. It will change everything. Okay.
I'll bring in more visibility. Then,
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, dear.
My answer. Thank you.
All right, I think we have to put a hard stop now. Jaiprabha, wonderful session. This was a lot of good insights. I think everyone really enjoyed, and then like seriously hearing from you, because those points were so interesting, and it is like impacting everyone's in day-to-day life. That was like really a wonderful session. Thanks, Jaiprabha, for all your support and contribution for today's session and making it a wonderful session.
Most welcome, and thank you, friends. Have a great evening ahead and enjoy your life.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye. Precious.
Bye.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Jaya. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye.